Hello everyone, Thomas here, also known as Waterhead. It has been quite a long time since I have sat down and made any sort of content. Back 2022, I wasn't doing videos very often, but you were probably getting videos every few weeks of just dumb little things that I was creating. And I'm sorry for the people who have subbed to this channel. Either you have found my content just from something stupid I did, or the algorithm blessed me, or my good friend Kovu, who was streaming for quite a long time and then recently told me he quit. I don't know how long that had been a thing, but I wanted to come back last year, and just so much has happened that it didn't feel right. I wanted to come back when I had the time and the energy, because I don't want to half-ass this. Yes, I'm doing it for fun, but I want to put my best foot forward on anything I create, even if it's just something stupid that it was a little idea in my head, took me 20 minutes to make, but it's funny. I keep going back to some of my older videos and just watching it. There's this Warzone footage that I'm just playing, or not Warzone, COD, whichever COD it was, and I hear a guy above me. It's like, oh, sniper, okay. Throw up C4 charge, he flies, put a Wilhelm scream. That was funny. And that's all I really want to do, is just make people laugh, make myself laugh. And whether it's something that I can put together in 20 minutes or it's a very long project that takes forever, I want to be proud of what I make. So I don't know how often I'll be making videos, but I'm going to be putting forth effort in everything I do. So with that out of the way, just where have I been? Well, my last video in 2022, I think, came out in September. And by November 2nd, 2022, I got on a train and I left my home and struck out on my own for the first time ever, leaving family, friends, in hopes of a new life. And I was not expecting it to be Ohio, but I lived in Florida for the majority of my life, spent 2.5 years or so in North Carolina, and the biggest problem that I was facing was this was a small beach town in Florida, and I kept seeing apartments just going up and up. I know everybody is feeling the crunch when it comes to rent. I have been very lucky since I moved to the Dayton area, just finding decent apartments for decent money and it not being something crazy. But I graduated college in 2018, and there weren't really many jobs. It was all retail and food service where I was living. So I just kept trying to save money in hopes of getting out. And I felt I finally had enough around that time. So I took a train to Virginia, met up with my good friend Sam, and then we drove to Ohio, and that's where we've been living together ever since. And it's been a lot of ups and downs. I wish I could say that I got here, I got a job quickly, and I've kept that same job and I've done very well for myself. And that has not happened whatsoever. I have changed jobs multiple times, either because the company was a dick, or the job wasn't the right fit, didn't fit my skill set, or I could do the job enough, but I wasn't what they needed. And I am all for telling somebody you don't fit, or maybe not necessarily that they don't fit, but they lack skills. Let's help you get to that next level so you're where management wants you to be. And as good as my boss was at one of those jobs, she didn't really know how to teach just because she had so much on her plate. She was the pharmacy manager and a pharmacist. So it just felt like so much of it was, it's up to you. I can give you the tools, but there's just a lot of work that you have to do on your own. And I'm all for applying myself, but just some people can't do that, or some people need more instruction than others. But I am happy to say that I finally found something that works for me with a decent company. I'm making more money than I ever have. So I'm hoping that this does not age like milk, and that 2 months from now I'm saying, yeah, I quit that job too. The honeymoon period was over, and then I hit a wall. But I'm going to keep trying. I have always tried to put forth my best effort in anything I've done. And sometimes you just have to admit defeat and start again. And I hope, if you're listening to this, if you need to hear that, I'm glad I was able to help. We have to put forth effort. We always have to put forth effort. We always have to keep trying. There are just some days where, did you show up? Did you try? Was it a good day? No. Okay, well, did you at least put forth what you could that day? You did? Great. Get up, try the next day. That's all you can do in anything you try, whether it's career-oriented or a new hobby or trying to find your new passion. All we can do is try and put forth our best effort. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do. I have been in retail for many years, so I have many stories. So that is a series that I had thought about doing. I lived with a really shitty roommate, not Sam, somebody else. We took on a charity case last year, essentially, and thought that we would be able to help someone, and it just completely screwed us over, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. It was shit. So I will have a video about that roommate at some point. But I also want your ideas. What do you want to see from this channel? Because you see the content I make. I'm going to be doing a series on College Football 25 with the Dynasty mode. I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but as I've said already, I'm going to give it a shot, and I hope it's something that you all enjoy. And I have some other ideas, like what Tony Hawk Pro Skater means to me. I saw a very good retrospective somebody did of just what it meant to them, and I typed up kind of a long form comment, and they were like, you should make a video about that. So maybe I'll get to that at some point. So I have my own ideas on what I want to create, but I want to create a community. That's all I've ever wanted since I started content creation years ago. Yes, this channel was made in 2021, but that was after my channel was deleted after receiving 27 copyright strikes from potentially a false account. It was literally Universal Music Group. I am not making that up. I have a whole channel on it of how or a whole video about it on the channel of how Universal basically fucked me over. There was no appeal. It was 27 copyright strikes in like 5 minutes. And the algorithm just said, okay, no more channel for you. So that channel, I worked on that for years. That wasn't my first channel. My first channel was just, it was the Wild West days of YouTube. It was made in '06. It was mainly just made so I could watch videos that were age restricted. It was mainly wrestling videos, but it was all getting age restricted because violence. So I started doing content creation through just making just dumb shit. I had a bet with a friend that I could make a video with a bunch of views with very little effort. Basically just put a song up. It had like 800,000 views in a couple of days. So it really wasn't hard back then, and copyright strikes weren't what they are now. But in 2009, I started doing a podcast with my good friend Lawrence Ross. He is still doing it as of today. I left back in 2020 just because we had been doing that show for over 10 years, and I didn't really see a way to grow, and it felt like some weeks I had everything lined up. It was like, this is going to be a good show, and it was. And then there were other weeks where I felt like I was prepared, but at the end of the show, it just felt like, well, there's another one done. I did it. I made it. Not necessarily proud of it because I didn't really do anything thought-provoking, I guess you could say. And anybody will have that with any video they make. Everybody makes stuff that, yeah, you put it out there. Some people enjoyed it, but it's not something that maybe you didn't work as hard with it, or certain things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. So I left just because the enjoyment just wasn't there anymore. I'm very happy to see that Lawrence has continued. By all means, look up Lawrence Ross on YouTube or the Lawrence Ross Show on multiple podcasting platforms. I'll have some of that in the description. I wish him nothing but the best. I don't know where we are in terms of closeness. Like, we were inseparable as teenagers, and we've just grown up and we've become adults. We have our own wants and desires, and sometimes people just drift. But I've been watching his content from afar. I'm just happy that he still has that passion that he's always had for radio and for entertaining. I've known the guy for nearly 20 years, and it's crazy to think that. But that aside, I want to build a community. I want to get back into streaming. I want to, I have an idea for the College Football 25 on just something that I'm going to create for me, just because whether it sucks or not, I think I'm going to enjoy it. But maybe I do a live stream series. Maybe we create our own logo. We create our own school. And we just run our own dynasty on a live stream just for fun. And if you want to be part of that series, we'll see if we can make it happen. Just put in the comments of, hey, here's a name, here's a position. And we'll go from there. Because one thing I've noticed through so many years of watching people and their communities, and there was a point where everybody was obsessed with views, whether it was for admiration or for the money. I would much rather have 100 subscribers that watch everything I do and give consistent feedback than have 1 million subs, having maybe 50,000 views on a video, and not a lot of engagement. That is what I want out of the community. Now, if this just picks up and we hit some crazy sub number, and it's like, oh, we've got 20,000 subs, millions of people are watching my content, I still want that community. I will always be somebody. If you reach out to me, I will take the time for you, because there have been people that have done that for me. I interviewed many YouTubers and content creators and artists over the years. Some of those interviews are lost to time. Some of those maybe Lawrence has. And if you're interested, maybe I'll put them up if people ask. Some of them, I think we did very well. Others were shit. It was just one of those things. If you just keep getting better, you see us keep improving, whether it's with our quality of our equipment, or the quality of our questions, or just the quality of us being able to talk and people find it interesting. Even this video alone was somewhat difficult because I didn't know how to start. And it seems like any time I make a video like this, I have Kovu in my ear. Kovu Jinkai has been another amazing friend of mine. He has his own channel as well. And we have done so much, whether it be content creation or just being friends for over 15 years. So he was always sort of a security blanket. Even just having him in the background on a Discord call, for him to just be listening, and maybe he pipes in if I say something, whether good or bad. He was a security blanket. So I wanted to do this on my own. Hopefully it not be too rambly, not too long, and somebody gets something out of it. So, bullet points, more videos are coming. I have ideas. I want to create a community. If you have a video idea, let me know in the comments. If you want to have your name or a character that you create or whatever in the college football dynasties that I'm going to be doing, by all means, drop those in the comments. Like I said, I'd rather have 100 active people in my community than 1 million subs and nobody talks to anyone. I've seen the communities of so many great creators, and I'd say the biggest inspiration of that is Jacksepticeye. I know he doesn't post the way he used to, but I got into his community back in January of 2015, and just the love and support that I received through that community for so many years, that's what I want to create. So, with that being said, I'll stop rambling. Thank you all for listening, and more to come. And here's hoping that we can just enjoy the ride together.